Hello YouTube, Sam here from youtube.com/onlivegamer for the new Boston. And in this tutorial we're going to be looking more at the car program. Now if you remember from the last tutorial we looked at inheritance, and we're going to be focusing mostly on inheritance in this tutorial. And if none of this makes any sense to you and you don't know what code is on my screen right now, then you might want to go back and start from the beginning of the car series. So if you remember, we created this sports car that inherits from car, and we added weight and get sports info. So everything that we can use in car, we can use in our sports car. So let's come over here to form1.vb, and you can see here we've got show car info. Now we can show the sports info, or we can also just do toString. And now let's go ahead and run this and see what kind of output we get. So if we get show info, we get the car name, which is nothing, the color red, the number of doors is 5, and the speed is 0. Now this is exactly the same as it is in the car class. You can see that we have overridden the toString function and we have it output the name, the color, and the number of doors, and it will work with any other class that inherits from car. Now we can also access any of these other methods and functions. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and change this back to .show, or let's do, what was it called? The get sports car info, or get sports info. Okay, so now when we have them set the name of the car, let's just go ahead and use default sports car. Now we could we could put these into other methods so that we don't have to continuously change the code. We can just change the arguments, send something else to the arguments, and we'll do that later on, but for now we're going to be focusing on inheritance. So default sports car name, and it's going to enter the name of the car, and that is a public variable, the car name, so that we can access it directly and we don't have to make a property for it. We can set the color too, so let's do default sports car dot color, and it will store the color in that, and color is a public variable. I'll skip the show info and we'll do default sports car dot number of doors, and the number of doors is a property, I think. Yeah, right here we've got the number of doors property, and it just sends back the int number of doors, which is a private variable. So we'll go ahead and collapse that, and we've got default sports car dot number of doors, and then we get whatever they typed in and convert it to an integer. So we'll go ahead and minimize that, and we've got accelerate, so we'll just change that to default sports car dot accelerate, and I don't know why we have that right there, but let's go ahead and minimize that. So now let's go ahead and run this and see what we get. If it compiles successfully, we've got our normal form. We can set the name of it. So for our sports car, let's do a Camaro SS. Go ahead and click OK. We'll set the color to, let's say, orange. Hit OK there. Doors, obviously 2. And let's accelerate it by, let's do 140 miles per hour. And then we will show the info. So we've got our Camaro SS, our color orange, we've got 2 doors, the speed is 140 miles per hour, we got 500 horsepower, and the weight is 1,000 pounds. And now we didn't even have to write any code for our sports car class because it's all inherited from car. Now let's go ahead and show car info. We'll just do toString here and see what kind of output we get from doing the same thing. So go ahead and run this. Set the name to Camaro SS. Click OK. Set the color to orange. Set the doors to 2. We'll accelerate it to 150 miles per hour, and then we'll show the info. We get the Camaro SS, orange color, 2 doors, and the speed of the car, and toString is the pretty much the showing the default stuff of the car that every car would have. So the speed, the doors, and the color, and the name. And every car has a horsepower and a weight, but for sports cars that is particularly important. It wouldn't be important for, say, a minivan. So we'll just go ahead and click OK. So if you haven't typed in this code already, go ahead and do that. And then once you understand this and you're starting to understand inheritance, go ahead and move on to the next tutorial, and we're going to be working more on the car program.